leaving only a small stack far right. The remaining arch is now being enlarged by wave action. In all, Persei rock is being eaten away at a rate of 300 tons a year and will be consumed entirely in another 13,000 years. See? That rock is getting smaller and smaller. The Long Range Mountains of northwestern Newfoundland, seen here across a tundra bog, look like the building blocks of some prehistoric giant. The level tops of their surface have a plain, an area that was worn by flat by ancient rivers, then uplifted about 60 million years ago. The island's eastern shore, shielded by rock. Ridged metamorphic rock. Pioneer plants at the ocean's edge. Glassworts at high tide mark. Rockweed invading grass. Seaside goldenrod. Ooh, these make me sneeze. Comment below if you are allergic to pollen. A parasite, common otter. A damselfly in the sun. A few steps from beach, plants entangled competition. Bayberries on a woody stalk. Juniper berries on spiky twigs. Blackberries ripening red and ripe deep purple. See, these berries are not ready to eat yet. Goldenrod and pioneer spruce. Lichen spotted spruce trunks and branches in a forest maze. Filtered sunlight on a bed of lady ferns. Haircap moss growing through a spine fungus. A forest flooring of spruce cones and pink cushion moss. Mature, a Lacaria lacata. Aging, a fluted amanita. Old man's beard and parmelia. Life cycle, a baby spruce springing from a rotted stump. Red-capped, British soldier, lichens on a fallen spruce. Cordgrass in a rock crab. Two stalwarts, cinnamon fern and gnarled spruce. Pegmatite blocks on the island's western shore. And you see the different zones of rock. The boundary of land and sea, the black zone. Living at evolutionary limits, the periwinkle zone. Home of the toad, the barnacle zone. A gentler shelter, the rockweed zone. A crowded place, the Irish moss zone. The ocean's threshold, the laminarian zone. Seen at low tide, a tidal pool in Maine's Acacia National Park reveals the 6 zones of plant and animal life on the rocks of the northeast coast. A colony of acorn barnacles above occupies every inch of available rock between high and low tide levels at Louds Island, Maine. The larvae of these crustaceans use a powerful glue to cement themselves safely to the wave-pounded rock. Here, the barnacle builds itself a conical shell and lives for about 5 years. Motionless at low tide, it springs into action at the moment the water covers its right, waving 6 pairs of feathery legs. 3 pairs filter food particles from the water, while the other 3 scrape it off the food and deposit it in the creature's mouth. These are the barnacles. A young mussel uses its one long brown foot to probe a rock for a place to anchor. It ties itself down by means of strong silken threads secreted by a gland inside its shell. The threads extend along the foot, which pins them to the rock all around the shell. The strongest wave can scarcely break a gossamer lines. Wherever a mussel moors, there it remains. See its long foot? And this is the mussel. Perched on a sprig of a rockweed, a smooth periwinkle crouches beneath its polished shell. Unlike its cousins, the common periwinkle and the rough periwinkle, both able to survive out of water, this marine snail is tied to the sea, for it can endure only the briefest exposure to air. Moreover, the smooth periwinkle can only live amid new colonies of rockweed below the high tide level, since it feeds on tiny organisms that cling to these algae. See the snail? With its graceful languor arm masking an insatiable appetite, a sea anemone stretches its tentacles in search of a prey. The instant unwary passerby brushes against the tentacle, thousands of cells shoot forth microscopic spears containing a paralyzing poison. Ew. The sea anemone then brings the victim to its mouth at the center of its body and devours the catch, totally indiscriminate in its choice of food. This glutton even tries eating fellow anemones, but finds them indigestible.